a gentleman who came to Krishna consciousness in his childhood in 1983, when he'll tell you what age he was then, probably about, I'm going to guess about 12, maybe less. He met Srila Gurudeva in 1996, so he's definitely one of the early birds, and he took Harinam that year in Diksha in 1998. And I remember being with Srila Gurudeva with him when he played some of his groundbreaking music. He's definitely one of these innovators who can produce modern music and somehow put philosophy and sophisticated aphorisms like a Chincha Beta Beta Tattva to modern rock music. Highly unusual synergy and artistic creation. So I'm very excited and warm-heartedly welcome Krishna Kanta to offer his Pushpanjali. Welcome, Prabhu. Welcome, brother. Audible.
Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikai Priyatmane Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Narayan Iti Namah. I just wanted to share a couple of things, maybe because if anybody knows me, they probably know me from the Sangha, or maybe through my work in music. And I just wanted to talk about what a huge part of that work I did, Gurudev was. Once actually Gurudev came and stayed at my mother's house. He was in between, I think, a doctor's appointment and a flight at Heathrow. And we spent I kicked my mum out. She went to a hotel and we scrubbed the house up and, scrubbed the loos and everywhere and absolutely converted it into a dwelling fit for a Mahabhagavat Vaishnava. And I think it was actually something that Yashodanandan had said, because we experienced this within 24 hours of Gurudev arriving actually at the house. We already felt his presence growing before he actually appeared, in the driveway. And I think it was Yashodanandan who said, "Oh, he's like the rising sun. You feel the dawn before the sun actually breaks across the horizon." And it was like that as well with actually meeting him for the first time, which was back in 1996. I had seen a picture of Srila Narayan Maharaj in Indulekha Dasi's flat. I was with a bunch of kids. We really were kids. People I've known Gurukulis my whole life. I didn't go to Gurukul. I managed to dodge that bullet, but I did hang out with a lot of Gurukul kids, and I think it was we were around Watford, and I saw a picture of Gurudev in Indulekha's apartment. I can't remember why we were all there. And I remember I didn't know who this sadhu was, and I think my girlfriend, who later became my wife, is still my wife, had said, "Oh, yeah, that's Indulekha's guru. Apparently he's a pure devotee." That's what I heard. First thing I ever heard was, apparently he's a pure devotee. Oh, really? I didn't know there still were pure devotees around. I didn't really know anything. And then I read a few words that Gurudev had spoken in Mahanidi Swami's book, Prabhupada at Radha Damodar, which is a really, really beautiful book. And I was very attracted to Gurudev's insights about Prabhupada. Clearly, he was very intimate and he understood the transcendental conspiracy that was going on. And I'm always very interested in any conspiracy, and the transcendental conspiracy is the ultimate one, and that Narayan Maharaj clearly knows all about it. So I was very interested, and then I heard loads of bad stuff about Narayan Maharaj, loads of bogus fake news, and then when I finally got an opportunity to meet him, actually it was pretty frightening, the idea that a pure devotee might actually turn up on the doorstep in my home city of Bath. And I'd hung out with a lot of Prabhupada disciples, and I was very inspired by listening to Prabhupada disciples talking about their time with Prabhupada. And one thing I would always hear is that, you know, Prabhupada didn't move like a normal human being. He wasn't one of us. He was, you know, he wasn't from this world. Just the way he walked, the way he comported himself. He was very, very humble, but full of grace, and really, you know, he had a dignity and a self-respect, a very beautiful personality, and I'd never met anybody like that. And so I was looking for that, and when I met Gurudev, obviously anybody who ever met him, I guess maybe you don't even need to meet him. You meet him through the books as well. But this is such an attractive personality, so beautiful, and I remember just looking at the way he touched his hands and his eyes and everything. This all of the signs were there that this was a transcendental personality. And then he was very encouraging, and I was so lucky to take initiation from him. Both me and Yogamaya, we were able to become his disciples. And then my band took off. Like I wanted to, you know, it was the year of Prabhupada's centennial, and we were very excited to do some, you know, to go out there and make some noise for Prabhupada. And I met Gurudev just as my band got you know, professional, and really Gurudev was the rocket that we rode, and our band did really well. We made a lot of noise for the holy name, and it got to a point actually where, you know, MTV, remember MTV? You know, they used to be massive before the internet. I mean, it was all over the world. MTV, they wanted to do a show about pop stars around the world, and so they said, oh, well, we want to take you to Bombay. We want to have you show us around Bombay. And I'd never even been to Bombay. And Bradara said, why don't you take MTV Film Crew to Vrindavan? And I thought, oh, that sounds a bit scary. You know, devotees are always trying to trick other devotees into doing service. So I said, okay. So it ended up happening. And once I finally got to Vrindavan and this Western film crew, you know, the McDonald's of the music business, McDonald's was coming to Vrindavan, I suddenly got terrified. And, you know, I was in... you know, I was in Prabhupada's rooms at Radha Damodar, and I was like really, really in anxiety, and went to see Gurudev. Gurudev wasn't in Vrindavan. Gurudev was in Delhi. And I went to Gurudev in a state of extreme fear and said, oh, there's a bunch of Westerners, film crew, you know, coming to Vrindavan. I said, is this okay? Is this going to be all right? And he said, I didn't want to make offense. I didn't want anyone to look stupid, including myself, or to disrespect the holy Dham. And he said, you can interview me. You must go to Radhakund and Shamakund. You must take them to Govardhan. You must take them to all these high confidential places. And that's what we did. And you know what? We didn't get any hassle. There was no interference. There were no crowds. There was no people asking for money. There was no, it was just like this bridge bussy, access all areas, magical carpet that we just rode around on. And it wouldn't, you know, it was obviously Gurudev's magic. And the kind of the final miracle was that we wanted to interview Gurudev, but we didn't want to interview him in Delhi. We wanted him to be part of that Vrindavan, you know, landscape. And so we found a park in Delhi. We thought, well, maybe this could double up as Vrindavan, and we'll just film him there, and it'll sit in with the other locations better. So Gurudev was so kind, you know. He said, yes, I'll come. You come. You take the film crew there, and I'll turn up. So we went to the park and we sat down, and all, you know, the cameras were there. all these Westerners, you know, they didn't know. They'd spent a week in Vrindavan. They were completely, their brains were fried. They were wandering around with these stupid smiles on their faces and bindis, and they'd completely lost it. They didn't know who they were anymore. And now they met Gurudev, and they're all watching and trying to do their job, and they're really spaced out. And Gurudev spoke for about an hour on camera about really, really high pastimes. We thought he was going to say, don't eat meat, or, you know, love and affection, or just, you know, really nice basic stuff for MTV. And he went right in with, you know, the gopis and separation. And I was sort of trying to do my job, thinking, I'm going to ask a few questions and maybe just try to manage this, you know. And of course, you know, that was just, you know, the typical illusion of thinking you're the controller. And he did this amazing talk, and we were all transported to Vrindavan. The peacocks were doing whatever they do, there's that noise, and the parrots were chirping, and we were just transported. We were sat there listening to him, and the whole of Delhi disappeared. And as the story ended, he said, you see, because we are talking about Vrindavan, Vrindavan has come here. He knew we were all having that experience, and then he laughed, and it was like this proper transcendental magic trick. In the end, they just used one line from that, but it was all impregnated with all of the tattva, and all of the shakti of the whole conversation was there in that one line. And so, how much time have I got left? Like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes. Well, I all I can say is that Gurudev arrived on Prabhupada's centennial in my life, and that was really when the whole thing began, didn't it? That was really when it kicked off in the West. And I feel that this centennial that we're marking is the beginning of a new chapter, a new wave of expansion. And what we all have is Gurudev's mood. When people say, what religion are you? We're not a religion. We are a relationship. That is what all of this is about. And that relationship with Gurudev is infused with all of the Siddhanta. But that connection, it gives us the power to do absolutely anything that we put our minds to now. And this is the time. Not only is it the right time, it's you know, this is. I mean, really, the world should have ended by now. And just looking at the planets, you can see that, you know. So. Just listening to all these offerings that devotees have made has filled me with so much inspiration that these devotees can do anything. These devotees should be leading the world, not in a religious way, because we're not religious. We're not a religion. We're not an organization. We're a family. What we can offer people is a mood. We have the foundation, you have the basic philosophy, the foundation, the Bhagavad Gita, the Sarangati, and they also have so many devotees so expertly qualified to unpack the highest conclusions. So whatever it is that you want to do to serve Gurudev, everyone should feel that fully empowered, just as what my band did was pretty much impossible. And it was just really, I felt it was really just a glorification of Prabhupada and a signal that there was a new chapter beginning in the evolution of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's family, a new chapter, and that's what's happening now. And And I just wanted to affirm it because I know a lot of devotees have been saying the same thing. You know, we're a family, we're a relationship based on love and compassion and understanding the potential of that. So thank you for giving me the opportunity. And none of our pranams.
Beautiful Pushpanjali, Krishna Kanta, really beautiful. And I wrote down that line. That's really a beautiful line. We're not a religion, we're a relationship. Fantastic. That's so beautiful. And yes, indeed, I think a lot of us feel at 100 years, Gurudev's 100 years, just like the 1996 year, it is a turning point year. And indeed, Vaishnavism, you can't get a more perfect culture than Vaishnavism. And I think we all believe that we will lead the world, as you say, not as a religion, but as wisdom and as relationships, especially when we recognize that we are one Chaitanya family. And when we realize and we praise and we glorify and we see the good in each other's savor and we overlook what's not there. We all understand that we're full of faults. That's not the point. If we engage in savor, then we should glorify anyone who's engaging in savor, however ineptly, it doesn't matter. Thank you, Prabhu.